I had to restart the recording because I fucked something up. Anyway, hey guys, it's your boy, What? I don't know how the fuck that melee hit me. Ooh, good sniper shot. That was beautiful. Um, anyway, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Coreboy, back at it again. We got so much shit to talk about because it's things that I'm excited for, things that I'm terrified about, things that I haven't talked about. I mean, mostly am a Halo player. But still a little part of me, misses my old days, my roots, my days of mostly playing Call of Duty. What are you trying to do there, buddy? Do not ever do that to me again. I will actually, I'll eat you or something. But anyway, yeah. So I mostly started as a COD player in my younger days, and have kind of grown past that. I mostly just because I don't like the way the series is ran now. While COD hasn't always been the best series, it never has been the best series in gaming history. People who do think that, you are actually insane. But hats off to you. You can think that all you want, and I can't stop you from thinking that. But I also am concerned about your health, so please, maybe go get checked out. Make sure that you were all there. But yeah, there was some actually pretty cool news that came out with COD recently. Well, cool and kind of worrisome news that came out about COD recently, which is mostly that the next Call of Duty is going to have an open world campaign. It's like partially open world, which is, while sounds really cool. If you guys know Modern Warfare 3, which I didn't even play the campaign of that game, I just, of course, keep up with sources, so I'm, in the loop at least about things. But that game had a partially open world campaign as well, but it was really fucking lackluster. I will say, I do think that if any team's going to do that kind of campaign, it's like, at least do it right. It's going to be Treyarch, because, I mean, they always deliver, like, a pretty damn good experience when it comes to COD, which is something that has always at least made me really like Treyarch, and kind of does make me excited to, like, maybe try out this game. I haven't bought the last 2 or 3 COD titles. Yeah, the last 3, actually, because I stopped on Cold War because I was like, yeah, I can't support this anymore. This is just ridiculous. For at least the money that I'm spending on the games each year, it's not worth it whenever it feels like a very unfinished product. But I am, really excited for that game. I may end up giving it a shot. I mean, of course, I'm going to try the beta out. And we'll probably have a video on the beta as well, before it, fully comes out and we get the full experience of the year from Call of Duty. And I really do hope it's good. I hope this year really does bring back some goodness to COD that hasn't been there in a fucking hot minute. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that, especially with it being in the Black Ops realm. I think it's what's called Gulf War, I think is what the title of the game is, which sounds really cool. And then possibly getting another one next year that is a direct sequel to Black Ops 2, which is insane. Very, very excited for that if it's true. And I just hope it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I grew up a Black Ops 2 kid. Well, actually, I was more of a Modern Warfare 3 kid back in those days, but Black Ops 2 was definitely, like, huge for me as a kid playing Call of Duty. And if they can capture all the correct elements from that game, it definitely has the spirit to be one of the best Call of Duties ever made. And I honestly could not be more excited for that. I think that's something that could possibly drive me back to wanting to play the series again. And I mean, I do kind of miss COD's multiplayer to a degree, especially if it's done right, and specifically mostly Treyarch's multiplayer, because Treyarch just knows how to do a really good multiplayer experience and make it feel like COD. So yeah, I'm honestly kind of looking forward to that this year. While I'm not the biggest COD player anymore, haven't been for a good little while, I'm still excited for what comes and within the future of the game. I always do kind of look forward to COD every year just a little bit, hoping that maybe we'll get something that's actually like I want to put my time into it. And maybe this one will actually make me want to do that again. I do kind of miss grinding COD very heavily like I used to, just because COD is a fun game to grind. Like, it's easy, and it's kind of just like I can shut off my brain and play this for fucking 8 hours and not fucking think about it, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited to possibly hop back into that whole element if the game's good, and if I do feel like it's worth the price tag that will be, of course, coming with it. Because that was my issue for last year's, was I liked the game, I just wasn't going to justify that much money towards a fucking DLC, because that's dumb. Like, if you think I'm going to spend $70 on a DLC, you were actually fucking insane. There's no way in hell I would ever do that in my life. I'm might be stupid, but I'm not that stupid. I promise you that. But yeah, honestly, excited for that. Hopefully it's a good game. I have hopes, not high hopes, but I have hopes. Like, you know, as much as I always say, like, I wish COD had a competitor to, like, really push them in the right direction. I don't ever wish for the series to die, because it's a substantial series to gaming. As much as people may want to shit on it, COD is, like, very substantial to gaming as a whole. There's a lot of people who have got into gaming and have forwarded that because of that series. I mean, even I did as a kid. You know, one of the first games I really fell in love with was Modern Warfare 2, and it just kind of spiraled from there. And yeah, I just kind of hope that maybe we can get a title that does kind of bring back a lot of the classic COD elements that I really do miss. One thing I really can't stand about the series anymore is that they've tried to really, like, get involved in, like, the tactical shooter elements, and that's not what that game is. Like, if I want to play a tactical shooter, I'm going to be playing, like, Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six, anything like that, where tacticality is, like, a big thing with those games. Call of Duty's not. It's an arcade shooter, and that's kind of how it's been for over 20 years at this point. Something that, to me, it's kind of lost its mark in those games, and it's really unfortunate. So hopefully we get something back to that, and something that's not just, oh, hey, it's just a camo grind in multiplayer, because that's not fun either. I miss whenever it was, like, the cool thing to go for all the challenges in multiplayer, and it showed just how much you played the game, and I personally really like that. Now, besides that, I wanted to talk about game preservation today as well, because to me that is a very, very, very big subject in gaming, and something that I think more people need to look at and more people need to kind of appreciate, because it's a huge thing. And maybe this doesn't just apply to it doesn't really just apply to gaming to me. It applies to everything in a lot of ways, which is mostly, it just applies to forms of art, and game design is a form of art. I mean, you have to have the idea to write the story, to create the characters, to create, you know, if it's a shooter, create the weapons or the equipment that you use in the game, whatever it may be. There's a lot of art that goes behind it, whether that be from a writer's standpoint or an actual, like, artist, somebody who designs the games themselves and the worlds around them. And, you know, I feel like all those things should be preserved rightly. And, you know, I will say it's been done with some games. You know, for example, I always mention it, the Master Chief Collection, I think, is a great way to preserve that series and a way for people to go back and enjoy them, you know, 20, 15, 10, 5 years down the line, go back and enjoy those games. Literally like they had just came out with some added content, of course. You know, you're not going to get the original Halo 3 experience. Well, you are, like, in the multiplayer, but you're not going to get the grind of, like, completing the campaign on Legendary or collecting all the skulls for, like, the certain armor sets and everything, which was one of the coolest things about Halo 3. And things like that. Like, it's, you know, there's definitely some components missing, but it's more good than bad, and I think that's something to look at whenever it comes to that game. But it's good that people can still go back and experience them at their core of, you can experience the gameplay, you can experience where Halo came from. And honestly, it's kind of cool, because I know, like, a lot of younger kids who got in because, you know, they got the Master Chief Collection through the Game Pass or whatever it may be. And I know people, you know, fucking, for whatever reason, hate Game Pass. I've, like, been seeing that more recently than ever, which I think Game Pass is honestly, like, a great subscription service, especially if you are just looking to try out games, and that's mostly what I use it for. I use it to just, you know, I'll be like, oh, I've just been wanting to try out this game to see if I like it or not, and I can spend $10 a month, have hundreds of games that, like, maybe I don't want to buy this yet, but I do want to, like, give it a shot, so fuck it, I can just, you know, I can go onto my Game Pass, I can download it real quick, and if I like it, I can then choose to fucking buy the game. Like, or I can just, you know, if it's a single-player experience, I can just beat it on that go and, you know, have it done there. And I don't care to spend the $10 a month for that. Or you can, you know, spend the extra money and get the, the Game Pass Core, which gives you, like, the accessibility through all of your consoles and on PC, which I think is also just really cool. I've always been a fan of Game Pass since it released. It was something that I was really excited to see Microsoft put into effect, because I think just giving people the ability to play games more often is just good. And I do look at this as, like, an income standpoint, too, because, like, as someone who grew up in a lower-class family, I didn't really have the ability to buy every game that I ever wanted, and now having that ability to just be able to, spend $10 a month, which isn't a lot, and just be able to play as many games as there are like on there is, I think, one of the best things ever. Um, and I honestly see nothing wrong with it. To me, it's literally just a net positive to the gaming world and what it entails. So I personally am a huge fan of Game Pass. I'm happy that there's a lot of people who are getting into games and games that they maybe would have never played via Game Pass, especially with like a lot of the backwards compatibility games that were, either original Xbox titles or Xbox 360 titles, whatever they may be. Like I said, just a net positive in my mind, and I love it. But talking about game preservation is, I think, a really big thing, just because there are games that haven't been preserved that, should be able to be played. In one series that I always look at, and funny enough, it leads kind of in from our last conversation, is Call of Duty. I feel like now COD has hit this cycle where it's like, oh, well, this game was out for, a year already, let's kill it, and then go into the next thing, which I think is honestly just disappointing. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I just think it's extremely sad. Especially now that there's older COD titles that you really can't even play, like, for example, like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, and things like that. It just sucks that I can't go back and play them, and at one point there was a way for the people who enjoyed those games could, which was through, like, the Plutonium servers and IWX as well, all those things. And then, of course, Activision cease and desisted those, which was, I think, really stupid, because why would you want to take away from the... Like, it was not only just a way to play those games, but it was a safe way to play those games without having the risk of running into hackers or anything like that, where you would possibly, lose your accounts or, have somebody get into your shit and figure out where the fuck you live. It was a safe way to enjoy those old titles that we all love, I think, deeply, if you're a fan of the Call of Duty series. So it was, I think, really unfortunate that they shut those down, and I think it's really unfortunate to the teams that took a lot of care into those, because it was something that I personally really liked that they did. Like, I love having the ability to go back and play those old games, and I know a lot of people got really excited when they revamped the servers whenever the buyout happened between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, and then it kind of just seems like they fucking forgot about it existing, even though the amount of players that were on it was absolutely insane, and something that I honestly was surprised to see, but also something that made me really happy, because it really shows that those games are timeless. And not having a way to preserve those games and a way to truly enjoy them for what they once were is, I think, a really sad thing, because those games are, you can't really do those games again, especially because of that era. Like, those types of games just aren't that way anymore. And it really sucks that, there's like going to be a whole demographic of players that are never really going to get to experience them in their truest fashion, which is really unfortunate, at least to me. Like, I like whenever a new player can go back and play the games that I played as a kid and enjoyed so much, and, the fact that there's some that aren't going to be able to do that, I think, really sucks. And, with how retro gaming goes, which is always... Oh my god, I got a running right, and I am kind of popping right here. Give me a second. Missed my last sniper shot. Damn, that sucks. Perfect. Damn, I'm kind of popping this game, I ain't gonna lie, but that's okay. Got you, buddy. Damn, why am I actually popping off this game like kills wise? I'm not playing objective at all. I have 3 points. I didn't even mean to get them. But that's cool. Aw, damn. Okay. Damn, that was a fucking 20 streak right there that I wasn't expecting to get. Holy shit. Okay, yeah. I've been getting these, like, weird-ass streaks recently. I dropped a fucking, a demon a couple of days ago, accidentally, like, wasn't even planning on it. It just was fucking playing some Capture the Flag with Bradshaw, dropped a fucking crazy-ass demon in CTF, and it was funny. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about, which was game preservation, I think it's just huge for those people to be able to go back and enjoy those games, especially, you know, whether it's old or new players. I think both should be able to truly experience them like it was their fucking heyday whenever they first came out. Bye, buddy. What? I'm sorry. I thought that shot would have hit, but I guess not. I guess I'm just bad at the game. Aw, damn. Good shit. He fucking got me, brother. But yeah, being able to go back and play old games, I think, is just essential. Being able to enjoy games that were before your time is essential, you know? I'm happy that I lived in a time when, you know, scalping wasn't huge and fucking certain rare games weren't worth fucking $4,000, which is ridiculous, I'm sorry to say. But that's actually fucking stupid. And if you spend that much money on a fucking game, you are stronger than me, brother. I could never. But, you know, I'm happy that I had the opportunity to go back and enjoy the games that I now love so much. Like, for example, Silent Hill 1 is one of those games that I absolutely love. And it was a couple of years before I was born, and I'm happy that I was able to go back at a young age and experience it. And then also experience, you know, Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, all of those games that are now fucking... Listen, I want to start a Silent Hill collection, but I literally can't afford it because of how fucking crazy scalping is now. But, you know, I'm happy that I had the experience too, and I want other kids to have that experience too, to be able to go back and enjoy things like from the PS3 and 360 era. And it's kind of unfortunate, at least for me, to see as a person who loves gaming so much, that there's going to be a lot of kids who aren't going to be able to do that at some point, just because of, you know, there's this weird fucking people who think preserving games is weird, or emulation's fucking piracy. I'm sorry, you're fucking weird. Those dev teams do not give a fuck about a game that's 20 years old. But some people do and just want a way to play them. And if you hate emulation, fuck off. I hope you all who hate it never run into me whenever I do a Silent Hill playthrough, because I'm going to emulate all those games, because I'm going to be forced to do that. But yeah, to me, I think it's just a really unfortunate thing, and I really just want to see more and more kids get into gaming and be able to experience the games that we all loved collectively as kids, and as, you know, young adults or teens, whatever you may have been. Because that's really how I look at a lot of things, at least being a big fan of gaming, is I always look at it as, well, what is the next era of people who get into gaming, you know, going to want to play? Like, what are they going to want to try out that, you know, was huge to me? Because those are big things to me, is what can the next era expect? Because I think that's one thing that everybody should look at is, you know, what are these people going to, like, look back on and be like, oh, this was a sick game, like, I wish I was alive when this came out, because it's such a good game. You know, like, I feel that way about a lot of titles where I'm like, damn, I wish I was alive in this game's heyday, just so I could have been there to experience it side by side with these people. Like, for example, if you guys don't know me, I'm a huge fan of arena shooters. Am I great at them? By all means, no. Nope, I'm not. But I think Huh? How the fuck do you ninja me when I'm looking... I was literally looking at his fucking feet. The ninjas in this game make no sense, like, half the time. I'm swear upon that. It's like, sometimes, like, okay, yeah, you ninja'd me. That made sense. But there's times where I'm like, I'm looking dead at the motherfucker, and he still hits me in the back. And I'm like, huh? Okay, I guess so. But anyway, that's just how I see things. And like I said, I love arena shooters, so I, you know, love being able to go back and play games like Quake and Unreal Tournament, games that were huge in that era of gaming, games that were huge for arena shooters, because to me that's honestly like damn near peak FPS. I think those games are just awesome, and I think they're really fucking fun to just play. They're super responsive. They require this like skill gap that just really doesn't exist in a lot of modern shooters, that were really fucking cool. And I'm honestly really excited. If you guys haven't seen, there's somebody actually working on a Halo Infinite Quake mod, that I really hope I can actually try out. It looks really fucking sick, with how he's doing it. So I'm very excited for that. It just looks awesome. Like having the actual, like, the gun forms that, like, Quake would, where it's, like, directly in the center of the screen, which is one of my favorite things about those games. I just think it looks cool. But also adding, like, rocket jumping and nail running, which, for those who don't know what those terms are, rocket jumping was whenever you would shoot a rocket on the ground. Yes, you would take damage, but it would launch your character, like, up in the air, and you could get to higher spots on the map. And then there was nail running, which you would shoot these nails into a wall, and if you shot while walking at them, you would go up the wall. It was really cool shit that, and honestly, just tech that games don't have anymore for some reason. They're like, no, if it's too hard, players won't like it. Or a skill gap, people won't like it. Dude, I am doing so bad this game, and I that's crazy, because these guys aren't even, like, high-leveled. I guess I'm just playing like shit now. I did good last game, and now it's bad time. Which, I swear to God, that's, like, my fucking curse in Halo sometimes is... I'll have, like, one game where I'm, like, popping the fuck... God damn it, he's up there. I know you are. No. All the fucking grenades. But, yeah. I think that's really it. Talking about games that I love, games that I grew up playing, but also... You know, I want to see people get into games that can enjoy the games that I loved so heavily at one point. Like, literally, whenever I meet somebody who's never played Halo 3, I'm always like, hey, you should go get Game Pass, try it out if you can. It's one of the best experiences that you will ever have because it's phenomenal. The story is awesome as fuck. The multiplayer is ahead of its time and, you know, just insanely good. It's something that I look back on so fucking fondly. And I just want people to be able to enjoy those games and to have fun with them the way that I did. You know, maybe not in the same ways that I had fun with them because, you know, I was young then. I was literally a fucking, you know, child. I think I was in, like, elementary school or going into middle school whenever that game came out. I can't necessarily remember off the top of my head exactly what grade I was in. But, you know, I spent so much of my childhood just playing that game, whether it was with friends or by myself, whatever it may be. And mainly, like, the main thing we want to talk about today was I seen a fucking video on Twitter of a dude at the midnight release for Halo 3 ODST, which story-wise is one of my favorite Halos ever, and actually gave us the introduction of Firefight, so I look at that game very fondly, and it's one of my favorite Halo campaigns ever. It's so fucking good. If you haven't played 3 ODST, go fix that, go play it, because you're going to be like, holy shit, this is awesome, and why is there not, like, another game as good as this in the Halo series, because I ask it all the time as to why we've never got another campaign that's as good as that one. But, you know, it's cool. Like, that shit is something that I miss, and I was like, damn, it's kind of... I miss midnight releases because it was the coolest fucking thing ever, but also it brought game preservation onto the mind of where does the future go from here, because I think it's a really big topic and something that needs to be talked about and should be taken, I think, seriously, at least amongst those that really care about gaming as a whole and want to see gaming not only grow but get better and become something that other players can enjoy in the future, because hey, we're not the last generation that's going to enjoy this shit. There's a lot of new people getting into this stuff. There's still a lot of new people who haven't even found out about this shit that one day it may change their lives. I said their life. Yeah, it'll change their Xbox Live. That's what it's going to do. But other than that, guys, I'm going to go sit in this corner. I'm going to end it here for today. I love you all. I'll see you all tomorrow. And, yeah. Later, dudes.